I did chuckle reading this headline. This headline says Shaun King defends buying 40K guard dog, complains he can't get a gun. So Shaun King generated headlines today when it was reported that his political action committee spent 40K on a guard dog. So, but originally he didn't respond to the headlines, but now he has. I do find his response pretty hysterical. I'm just going to read some of the quotes he said about this. Just give me a second or two to pull them up. Okay. So I'm just going to read them right now. So he says, I have to say some things that I've worked hard to keep private for the safety and security of my family. He began his statement. But I need you to know this so that you understand why our family not only needs a guard dog at home, but 24/7 security wherever we go. Before you talk about how I should defend myself with guns, New York City won't even allow me to have a gun. New Jersey doesn't have its stand your ground laws and hardly allows you to even own guns, he wrote. I have been far too kind to all of you that have disrupted my life and made my wife and kids cry. Not going to accept it. Cross my family again and see what happens. And I'm backdating this promise a few years. Okay, so I'm just going to read more into this. So this is what really caught my attention when he mentioned this right here. So it said, white supremacists and people who have meant my family harm have now shown up to our last 3 homes multiple times. Okay, so he's basically saying that he had to get this guard dog to protect his family from white supremacists. The article does mention he did eventually ended up returning the guard dog, but I do find that very laughable that he needed to get this guard dog to protect himself from white supremacists. As dumb as white supremacists are, and they are pretty stupid, most white supremacists have guns. They believe in having guns on them, even though New Jersey is a restrictive state when it comes to guns. White supremacists don't care about those types of laws. I'm sure if they were in New Jersey, they would have guns. Hell, I'm sure if they're out of state, they have guns. So they're going to bring guns to the table regardless if they really, truly want to take out Shaun. If they're really obsessed with ending him, they would bring guns to the fight. So having a guard dog, I don't think would protect you from a white supremacist that's armed, because a white supremacist could obviously shoot the guard dog, and that's the end of your protection right there. So I'm not so sure if I really buy into that was the reason why he was getting this dog. But it could be. It could have been the reason. If it is, it's still kind of laughable because I don't think a guard dog would be good enough to protect him. So that to me was kind of laughable when he brought up the part about white supremacists needing that dog to protect him from them. But I think ultimately he just used that money for his own joy, and maybe he really just wanted to get that type of dog just for having it. He did originally post it on Instagram kind of bragging about having this type of dog because it's very expensive. 40,000 is a lot for a dog. That's what I'll say. But I can understand why people are offended by this, simply because the money he used to get the dog was donations that were made by other people to his political action committee. So yeah, you're taking advantage of people by buying stuff for your own pleasure, whether it's a car, a house, or even a pet. That's kind of selfish, I have to say, to a large degree. One thing I have to say about these organizations like Black Lives Matters is that they have been infiltrated, or they were originally created by rich people behind closed doors. So they're getting funded by these rich donors now, and I'm sure Shaun King has taken advantage of it, and a lot of other people have. That's one thing to keep your eye out on. It, like, what has Black Lives Matter movement really done to improve things when it comes to to civil rights in this country. I can't really think of anything because no legislation has been passed. So you always have to be wary about people like Shaun King. These people like to capitalize off of the moment, off the issues to their own advantage, which for him is making tons of money. I'm actually gonna try to look for his net worth right now if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it right now. Just Googling it. Let's Google Shaun King's net worth. Just bear with me. I just want to find how much this guy's allegedly worth. So Shaun King is allegedly worth $3 million. I'm willing to bet a lot of his money was made off of donations to through his political action committee. That's usually how a lot of these people make their money, especially these civil rights activists, to be honest. So I don't trust him really, and I think he's kind of shady. That's just my belief about it, but it's kind of funny he put himself in this position to get all this negative attention when if he was smart, he wouldn't have really published it. But then again, I think people would have found out. Still a dumb move by him overall. Just showing that he's not as bright as he thinks he is, really. But I have nothing else to say about this.